Hey everyone, it's Mike here, and today I'll be talking about selling concert T-shirts on Etsy. I'm going to break down and show you, oh gosh, how many here? 14, give or take. No, I take that back. 13 concert T-shirts that I sold on Etsy. Now, I've been talking for years, guys, here on YouTube about how you can make money with concert T-shirts, whether they're vintage or if they're recent, right? And you've seen me transition from selling them on eBay, Etsy. I've done it on my own e-commerce site, etc., etc. And I just wanted to kind of go through a video today and show you some stuff that I sold on Etsy that were nice flips. Honestly, I pretty much turned I think it's around $200 in the $1,400 you'll see here, and this is over time. So let's talk about a couple things here first before we get into what I'm going to actually show you. Concert T-shirts, they're great items to pick up, especially if you can find the vintage ones, because they're one-off unique ones, and not too many of these concert shirts are still in today's market. I mean, because they get thrown out, they get donated, so there's collectors out there that are constantly looking for these, right? And there's people like me that honestly I buy them and flip them, because a lot of people undervalue what they are. They get desperate and they think, oh, let me just throw it to auction. And that's something I want to talk about here, is that some of these concert shirts take some time to sell. Okay, don't get me wrong. Some you can list one today and it sells today, right, for your asking price of, let's say, $100. But a lot of times it's just you're waiting for that one particular buyer. You're waiting for that one moment in time, and you'll see the sales come through. So one of my strategies with getting vintage concert shirts is it's a more of a long-term project, more of like investments. So I'm not in a hurry to sell them. Right. Obviously, I would like all of them to sell immediately. I mean, that would be terrific. But at the end of the day, the reality, at least for my business with some of these, is, they're investments. So they're like stock portfolios. I paid a certain price for them, and I'm looking to get X amount. Selling them on Etsy, in my opinion, is a great opportunity. Right. There's Etsy, to some people, they say, I can't, Etsy doesn't work, it's impossible to sell on there, you got to do this, you got to do that. And honestly, it's just hard work and constant listing and getting your name out there, using social media, stuff like that. Over the years, I've built up a really good following, so it wasn't that hard for me to jump into Etsy and go over there and create sales on it. And as you guys have seen in my videos, I'm selling stuff on Etsy, seems like every day, right, on a couple of these accounts. So, as the years are progressing here, I'm building more and more followers, and I'm understanding what my buyers are wanting. So I'm finding these products for them. So, it's one of those things, guys, that if you come across some of these vintage T-shirts, they'll definitely sell you could definitely sell them on eBay, Etsy. I mean, you could sell them on Instagram, guys. You could sell them on Facebook, because there's people looking for them. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of times it's a memory. I'm 40 years old, so I'm a big Pearl Jam nut. I hoard Pearl Jam T-shirts. If I've got a duplicate of one, I'll sell one. But if it's something I don't have, or it's a concert I went to that I don't have the shirt, I want it. And in all regards, those are all investments. So somewhere down the line, I'll sell them. But it's something I do collect. I have a passion for concert T-shirts. One of my first videos on YouTube was talking about it. Look at these. Check these out, guys. The concert shirts sell. So let's jump into the video here. I'm going to go over these items here and talk about them individually in terms of, what I sold them for, how much I paid for them. This one here is a 1991 Gloria Stefan Into the Light concert T-shirt, size extra large. This sold for $45 on Etsy. I paid $1 for it at a thrift store. And the crazy part is I was up in Phoenix, found it for $1 at this thrift store. I went to another thrift store the next day. I found the same exact shirt, which was it was odd. But yeah, $45 for Gloria Stefan. Really cool graphic shirt here. Had some tour dates on the back, and as you can see here, it's favored by 2 people. That's when you're getting people favoriting it. It kind of builds traffic. It's kind of like the watchers on eBay, right? So yeah, that was a nice little flip. Here's Paul Schaefer, the world's most dangerous band. Remember, he was the guy with David Letterman. Wasn't too many of these shirts out there at the time of me listing this, and got 4 favorites by 4 people here. Paid $1 for it again at a thrift store. Sold it for $45. This one here, just it's why I rummage through clothing at thrift stores, because you never know what you find, and Here's this 1986-87 Elton John vintage tour shirt. It's got like the pianos in the front. It had that fading to it, which is something when you've been picking and reselling for a long time, especially clothing. You could spot these shirts like a mile away when you're looking through the black clothing and black T-shirts. So I saw it, and I'm like, that's got to be vintage. And I looked over, and yeah, there was Elton John just sitting there. Paid a buck for it, half off day. Paid $1 for it, got favored by 4 people, and sold for $50. Here's one here again. I paid $1 for this one. I had it for a while. It had some stains. It had some holes. And then so it was a very, very small shirt. So I don't even know. I'm pretty almost confident a woman bought this. And majority of my clients are women, that purchase these shirts, because a lot of times these older concert shirts are small. Even a size large would probably fit a men's small these days. I mean, they're just the wear on them, the shrinkage on them. And then again, back, in the 80s, people were a lot skinnier than they are now. And that's a whole other topic there in itself. But got favored by 8 people and had it for 50. Here's one thing I want to tell you guys about Etsy is you're going to get people all the time. Hey, I see you got 50. Would you take this? And there's no best offer on Etsy or anything like that. It's not like eBay. So you're going to get people that are going to lowball you, or maybe it's not a lowball. Maybe you'll take it. You're like, hey, that sounds fair, So don't overlook that, and don't look at it as an insult when somebody says, hey, your item's asking for 200, would you take 125? You know what I mean? Because engage with those people. You don't know what that person is in the other end. They might come back. You give them a deal on that item. They might come back next week and buy an item from you. And I got customers like that. They're like lifelong customers. They will just come by in. I see their name right off the bat, and they'll be like, hey, Mike, you're asking 200. Would you take 100? And I'll be like, yeah, no problem. Because, it's all about making customers happy, and really it's about building customers. That's the key is building customers. Selling one-offs is great, and it's amazing, and you can make a lot of money doing it. But concert T-shirts, that's my niche. It's one of my niches, and I'm here to look for customers. I'm looking for loyal customers, and when you're that's why I sell concert T-shirts to celebrities. I've sold them to movie studios, for over 15 years, guys. So there's it's building that rapport with people, and they'll come back and shop. Here's one, again, just looking through the black sweatshirts at the thrift store. Paid $2 for this. So that 80s Joe Cocker vintage crewneck concert shirt here, or sweatshirt actually. I found this, and I was looking around, and it became evident to me when I started finding this, and I started finding other Joe Cocker stuff, and I ended up scoring some pretty good stuff that day at the thrift store. I remember that, and some of the stuff I still have. I mean, I've got a Stevie Ray Vaughan jacket out there. I've got a bunch of other cool Joe Cocker memorabilia. It was somebody that was on tour, management or production staff. I don't know, but they're pretty rare stuff. We got favored by 2 people on this one, and again, there's nothing special to this sweatshirt. I mean, it's a black sweatshirt, just says Joe Cocker on the top. That was, that's it, and got $50 for it. So. It's just not the T-shirts, too. It's any of the concert memorabilia, whether it's jackets, sweatshirts, hats. Here's a 1984 Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart tour shirt, and found this at a thrift store for $2. Favored by 7 people, got $50 for it. Took a little while to sell, but it sold. Here, picture wasn't the greatest. I like to teeter back and forth with how I photograph items. Sometimes I'll use a mannequin, sometimes I won't. Just depending on the mood. But this one here literally gets sold in 24 hours. And it was a funny story because I put it up there, and then immediately, because Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, if you find that these older tour shirts, they'll sell immediately. And I remember vividly with this one because somebody messaged me, and they're like, oh, that's not worth that much. Would you take 20? I'm like, no way, Oh, they came back, you're nuts. He's like, will you take any offers on it? I said, no. I said, I think 60's firm. And they're like, oh, it'll never sell. Within 24 hours, boom, another person came in there, bought it up, and then the person that originally gave me that lowball offer is like, oh my God, I screwed up. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's got $60 for this, paid a couple bucks for it at a thrift store. Here, another item I found that is Pearl Jam shirt that was at a thrift store for $2, maybe $1, can't remember. Favored by 16 people, and sold for $75. Here's one, a 1989-1990 Skid Row concert tour shirt, and really cool shirt. It was really thin, just had that look to it, Found this at a thrift store for probably a couple bucks. favored by 11 people, sold for 75 bucks. Scorpions has a huge following, and a lot of times these Scorpions gear stuff will go overseas. It'll go to Malaysia, it'll go to Japan. Yeah, a lot of it's going to go to Malaysia. There's no doubt about it. Some Taiwan. There's huge collectors out there. This was this 88 Savage Amusement Concert Tour shirt, favored by 4 people, sold for 85 bucks. Here's an 85 Concert Tour shirt that I paid a couple bucks for at a thrift store, and favored by 19 people. So this one sold for 150. So this was a pretty nice higher end shirt. This one here, the story with this Iron Maiden shirt, had it forever, really did. Actually bought it off Shop Goodwill for I think 20 or 25 bucks, and I went and picked it up back when I lived in Chicago. It was at the Indianapolis. It was like a weigh-in pairs, whatever it was. It was some super place where they housed all the products that you bought on shopgoodwill.com. But had it forever. I mean, I thought I hit a jackpot with this. I thought, oh my God, this is a $1,000 shirt. Because at the time, years back, I mean, you'd see these Iron Maiden original Killer shirt going for $500, $800, $900. The problem with this one, it was a size small, and it was favored by 16 people. Funny story behind this is it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's funny. It's just interesting. So I originally sold this once. Person got it. I didn't hear back from them for like a week or two. They replied back, "Hey, you know what? I'd like to return it." I'm like, "Hey, no problem. Send it back." I was kind of bummed about it, but I'm like, "Hey, that's no big deal." And they were like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of Iron Maiden, but some bills came up here, and we'd like to return it." I'm like, "Okay." So I relist it, and then within 2 weeks, the same person messaged me and they're like, "You're going to think we're crazy, but we want the shirt back." I'm like, "I don't think you're crazy." I said, at first I was like, "Oh my God, what is this person talking about? This is kind of nuts. Why would you return it now you want it again?" But obviously they came back into some money, and they're like, "Yeah, don't think we're nuts. We made a bad mistake. We really wanted the shirt. It was pretty epic." And I said, "No problem. Send them $300 again, and we'll make the deal." And they got it, and they were like, "Oh my God, I love it." Left me great feedback, whatever. But yeah, this shirt here, over time, people were offering me $20, $30 for it. And, this shirt here has been reproduced thousands of different ways. But this was a true original one. And I wish I could have gotten a little bit more for it, but $300 I'll take. And then finally here, this is a 84, 85 Prince in the Revolution shirt, favored by 113 people. Again, I got blistered with people trying to lowball me on this shirt. It had some stains, had some little holes on the front there, and I sold this the day Prince died. I knew something was up because my feed on my phone with Etsy was just going crazy with Prince. So I'm like, Prince, and then and I saw the little sale come through, and I'm like, I knew something was up. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And then I saw the news. I'm like, oh my God, he passed away. But this shirt here, we sniped this shirt off eBay. Kim had it for a long time. Kim wore it a lot of times, and it was part of our personal collection. And we just put it out there, like, hey, you know what? Let's throw it out there. It was a pretty epically rare Prince shirt. Now you will find some of these shirts out there, and they're probably selling for $800 now. That's how it goes. Because once something like that passes away, there's a huge demand for the items that day, that week, right? People want to remember the artists or the movie stars or whatever it may be, and the people just swoop through the market and buy up everything Prince, and then as time goes by, it's you got to really pay attention to it because sometimes the prices can go skyrocket up again. Like this shirt's probably somebody's got it listed for $2,000, or they could be selling for $150. Like Michael Jackson when he died, same situation. The shirts were outrageous. I remember flipping Michael Jackson shirts for $200. I had a little box of them that I was just storing away, and when he passed away, I listed them, and they were just boom, 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 gone. Now, I think you could pick up like a Michael Jackson bad shirt or a Thriller shirt for like $50, $60. Pretty crazy, but yeah, guys, just wanted to share with you guys this stuff here, maybe to encourage you to look through the thrift store aisles of clothing, maybe start sniping some of these things on eBay, maybe looking into the business of concert T-shirts, vintage concert T-shirts. Again, they could sell today. Sometimes they could take a year to sell. But at the end of the day, it's just about finding a niche and building a customer base, right? And having fun with it too. I love finding concert shirts. I love selling them too, And but anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching here today. And if you'd like this type of video, hit the like button. You can also check out more information on my website, pick4profit.com. You guys have a good one. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.